Sega fans might be happy to know that Sonic Drift 2, a Game Gear classic, is now available on the 3DS eShop. This game came out in 1995, which, for me, I'm surprised that they were still making Game Gear games in 1995, because that system seemed like it was dead within about 2 years of it coming out.
Well, I had a Game Gear, and this is not one of the games that I owned on my Game Gear. I did have another Sonic game that I would go back to all the time, but this wasn't the one. And I feel like, yeah, the Game Gear had a lot of misses.
Yes.
And I feel like this may have been one of them. I don't understand what is exciting about this particular racer, especially since you can't really see 2 beats ahead of you.
No.
You don't really know what's coming, and the power-ups are not satisfying at all.
They're terrible. And we should point out that this game came out 3 years after Super Mario Kart, which really defined a genre, made the genre of kart racing games where you can screw up your enemies. This game, not so much. It looks like they just took Outrun, which is a really good Sega arcade game, and Hang On, which is basically Outrun on a motorcycle, and they combined the two and then added Sonic characters to it. Just weird Sonic characters that, you know, were...
like Fang?
Yeah, very strange. And then put them in a Grand Prix type of race,
yes,
but then have the power-ups in there. You go into the regular play mode and you basically play through several different tracks and you see how you place. It's very hard to not place well in this, although some of the enemies, I swear they do cheat. They come up on you really fast. There's not a lot that makes me want to stay and go back to this, but there are some neat options here, and I think that's just part of the 3DS Virtual Console experience. You could choose to play this game at full screen, or you could choose the 1:1 pixel ratio, which is pretty neat because then you see a Game Gear on the screen as well, and if you have 3D on, you can see the Game Gear buttons are closer to you, and the screen is set in a little bit. So I did enjoy playing it with that option, just because it felt cool, it felt kitschy, felt retro.
Yeah, it was something that pulled me back, that took me back to that time where I was just hiding in my room playing my Game Gear, of course having it plugged in because there's no way I could keep replenishing the 6 AA batteries that it needed constantly. So I loved the Game Gear for that reason, that it was light and you could play it in the dark, and that was the whole beauty of having the Game Gear. But that was really the only thing that made me excited to play this game. It's just funny that we're talking about this game that we played on a Game Gear, so from Sega, on this device made from Nintendo, where you can actually play a Nintendo game, Mario Kart 3DS, and it's just way more fun. I have a way better time with it. Shaun, what are you scoring Sonic Drift 2?
I'm gonna give Sonic Drift 2 a 3.5.
Yeah, it's getting a 3 from me.